Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Brian's Infinite Dungeon. It's a show about making a dungeon with friends. And the goal being we can turn this blank map up here into something that people can play at the end of this in their fantasy role-playing system of choice. I guess it doesn't have to be fantasy. You could bring your sci-fi guys into a dungeon.
Yeah.
You could bring your Monster Hearts characters into a dungeon. That'd be weird. That's not really a game built for that, but it'd be fine. Emily's here.
Hi.
Emily, thank you for doing this.
You're welcome.
Hello in chat to Amiability, Josiah, Alex. Hello.
Hi.
Hello. We've got a little bit of a crowded setup here, so forgive any audio buffoonery on our end. That's our fault. We will do our best to talk loud and into our shared microphone, especially as I look over to the chat, which is on a computer far away from the microphone. That I have to fully turn my face to both see and address. How's everybody doing? Hi, Maddox. Also, if you are watching in the future, on perhaps YouTube, maybe hit the subscription button. That should be actually probably down here. You can subscribe to the channel, and we'd appreciate that a lot. So thank you. And also, if you're watching here on Twitch, maybe follow us or subscribe if you got some extra Bezos bucks. All that stuff does help us keep doing this. But all that boring stuff out of the way, we should make a dungeon.
Yeah.
Emily, you've been running games recently.
I have run games. I've only run pre-written adventures. I have not written my own campaigns or anything.
But you've been running stuff, you've been playing for a long time.
Yeah.
What do you tend to like in a fantasy adventure? Are there any things that your desert island things to happen in a fun game?
The game I'm running currently is a pirate game that I think is very fun. I like pirates. I don't know. I just like hitting stuff.
Okay. That's cool. One thing we were talking about for this, I don't know if this fits into maybe your idea of a fun dungeon, but we were joking about what if dating was a central premise of this dungeon. And I think that would be goofy. Let's see, having a little trouble hearing us. That checks out. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to bump up audio input on our end, and we're both going to talk real loud. And do the best that we can. Okay, much better. Great. Okay. Dungeon. So, it seems to be good reactions to a dating dungeon. So I have a initial idea. So typically what we're going to do is we're going to spend probably an hour brainstorming, and then the last hour we'll actually try to make our runnable document that then we can distribute out to a large and wanting public who wants to run silly role-playing games. Alex asks, do you die if your crush rejects you? That's interesting. What's initially coming into my brain here is, okay, the adventurers head down the stairs of this floor of this room number 1, and what if the doors lock behind them, or this portcullis falls behind them, trapping them on this dungeon level, and they step into what appears to be a giant set for a monster dating game.
I love that. So is the premise basically there are monsters to date, we have to choose which monster to date and woo them accordingly?
I think it's... So here's where I'm stuck. I think maybe there is an element of... You have to woo one of the monsters. There's possibly something you need to do within the dungeon, the greater dungeon, to woo one or multiple monsters, and that is the only way to escape. They'll only let you go if you have been, like, if you date a monster. Then, of course, that is a problem of you have a monster that wants to go on a date with you, and you might have to fight that at the end. I don't know. Haven't decided.
Or you fall in love with a monster.
Or you fall in love with a monster. That's possible.
What about... This might just be because I've been playing a lot of Hades. There's the rooms in Hades where you have to, like, pick a god. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about in the game Hades.
Yeah. So what if you pick a monster to woo, and then the monsters that you don't pick, that determines sort of the challenges you have to face throughout the rest of the dungeon?
Maybe. I guess I don't quite know how... Our silly game has posed some problems of what you actually do.
So this first room is where you come in, yes?
Yes.
And this is set up like a dating game.
Yeah, I think it is a full, like, cheesy game show set. Let me put game show. Let me see what assets we have on Canva for game show. Oh boy. Oh boy, they're bad. They're real bad.
Like, fully the dating game.
Yeah. Let's search heart. There is, like, an image in my brain that I want that I cannot get. And it's fine. It's fine. We'll just put a heart here and maybe, like, a microphone. Come on. Come on! And that represents dating. So yeah, you walk in, boom, lights, some, like, a curtain, those dating game, like, 70s-ish flowers, and like, ba 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 ba, ba 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 ba.
Can there be, like, a fun, cheesy, like, goblin host?
There is definitely a fun, cheesy goblin host who welcomes the adventurers in and explains that this, of course, is dungeon dating, the dungeon dating game, wherein the contestants will find love or die.
Is there a studio audience?
I think the goblin has a, like, magical device that creates audience noises, but it is otherwise an empty dungeon chamber.
Sure.
So, yeah, I guess that's where... So, our first initial question here is, are there multiple monsters to date?
I think there are multiple monsters to date.
In that case, I think what has to happen for the actual game of it is you need to learn about the dungeon, or you need to learn about the monster, the object of your monster affection, and then potentially gather some things in the dungeon to try to woo them, and then at the end see if they pick you. Like, maybe a die roll will determine if they pick you, with modifiers to if you do the right thing.
Oh, so you think they're picking you? Because I was thinking it was like a dating game sort of thing where, you know, it's the traditional curtain in the middle, and then you're asking questions of the contestants, and hopefully you're an adventurer trying to get out of a dungeon. You're asking questions that will help you figure out how to get out of this dungeon, which is to woo the monster. Do you know what I mean?
No.
Okay.
I guess we need to find what reason are you seeing why you would go into the other rooms of this dungeon?
To gather the materials required to. I guess it's more of a mutual dating game than the dating game should be.
I don't understand. So there are monsters who you're gonna date, and you have to. Real fast, into chat. The goblin's name is Bob Goblin, and I like that a lot. Bob Goblin is in a tuxedo. He's got the bow tie.
Yeah.
And he's on a couple of crates on his little announcer podium.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put a little goblin in there while we think about what comes next. There are so many good goblin options. We need one that reeks of game show host goblin. Of a game show he possibly just made up.
He definitely just made it up.
I like this one. I like this guy. Bob Goblin. Bob Goblin.
Because my thinking is these monsters are not just going to automatically pick you. Are not automatically going to want to date you if you're playing this dating game.
Sure. Then what do we do?
So we ask them questions as part of the dating game. And then that's the first half of the game. The second half of the game, the door to the dungeon opens where you have to go in to find things to convince the monsters to love you. So maybe like one monster is like, my perfect dater, my perfect match would clear out this sludge for me.
Okay. So you're kind of forced into this interview. So are you choosing the monster?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
that's what I mean, like Hades. Like, you're choosing which one, whose tasks you want to perform, and the other ones are trying to prevent you from performing those tasks.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Okay, I like that. So, who would, and chat, you're gonna have to play a big part of this. Who would our 3 dungeonettes, dungeon boys be to choose from? I think one is a tentacle mess. Just a mess of tentacles.
Just a mess of tentacles.
Just a pure otherworldly horror that only speaks and screams.
So you have to guess what they want.
You have to guess what they want, and it's gonna be something obvious once you're in the dungeon that would help him communicate. But you'd have to go explore the dungeon to find that out. A werewolf, a vampire lord, a silver fox spirit, a drider. A drider's fun.
What's that?
A drider is a drow centaur.
That's fun.
But the bottom half is a spider.
Oh.
So, drow up top, party business on the bottom.
Mm-hmm. So how many legs does the spider part have? 8 or 4?
8.
Okay.
And then
So it's fully spider body, drow torso.
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense.
Let's see. So, the state of Arizona mentioned Colin Mockery in a larger thought, but I do think it'd be funny if one of the monsters was just improviser Colin Mockery. Not going with that. Just
that's fun.
That is fun.
That's because they did a dating game on Whose Line Is It Anyway?
I think when people play this on their own, they can add Colin Mockery to their heart's content. Okay, so we've got a gibbering mass of tentacles. We've got let's go with the werewolf. Sure. And Colin Mockery DLC. And a beholder. I like those. I'm just gonna put a note here.
How is a beholder different from the tentacle monster?
The beholder can speak. Beholders are very intelligent. Okay, hell yes. So we need probably they each need a room.
Yes.
And there is that means a challenge in each. And then I'm thinking maybe you get like completing the challenges gives you maybe a +2 when you roll to woo them or choose them. Because they can reject you, in which case they will all attack you and you will die.
Yeah.
Also worth noting, I guess, that you will be a adventuring party. There will be many of you. So it is possible that individual people could pursue different monsters. And also, this is a modern dungeon dating game where any combination of any amount of people is both encouraged and fine. I like that Colin is the beholder, Ryan is the werewolf, and Wayne Brady is the tentacle monster.
Tentacle monster has a beautiful singing voice.
This is not Whose Line Is It Anyway. We are not making a Whose Line Is It Anyway dungeon, though I guess on TV&D that would actually be appropriate.
It's also very funny that, yeah, of course, me too, the strongest reference for the dating game is the Whose Line Is It Anywhere game where they're parodying it.
Yeah. Truly. I don't think I've ever actually... The dating game would be, on in the afternoon, syndication. And, so I would watch some of them, and it was always weird. It was...
so horny.
It was a truly horny television program.
The only moments of the dating game that I have watched are clips of the serial killer that was on it.
It's pretty yikes. But here we are, and now we put it in the dungeon where it belongs. Has that come back at all in ABC's summer fun and games in cheap repeatable television summer programming?
The dating game, you mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Alec Baldwin's doing The Match Game, which I do not believe is dating focused. That might, be matching.
I have no idea.
The dating game died years ago, never to be seen again. I've never seen the dating game. I've only seen the Whose Line parody and RuPaul's Drag Race dating game, which I believe is supposed to parody it. That's likely.
Well, yes. Yes.
Okay. So, what does our tentacle monster need in order to be wooed?
I mean, it's definitely just something that allows it to communicate.
Yes.
Is it just one of those boards that, like, have you seen that video of the dog that, like, presses the buttons for stuff that it needs?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Maybe there's one of those, like, suspended above a vat of acid that you have to retrieve.
I like that. I searched acid in Canva and I have gotten limes. Let's do this, sure. And let's make it a more of a green.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, great. So the tentacle monster just wants to be heard.
Yeah.
There is a, in that room, there is a pool of acid. This thing is on a platform, a couple feet up. You have to figure out how to negotiate the acid and get this speaking rune thing. That still only allows for very simple communication.
When you do finally get it to the tentacle monster, it just says send nudes.
Yes, 100% yes. Okay. So here's what I'm thinking mechanically. Mm-hmm. Each room has an object specifically for the monster. You can interview to potentially find out what those things are. But because we have more rooms, there are maybe in rooms 2 and 6, there are things that could be done that could help with any monster. Mm-hmm. So you could possibly stack up an advantage of like +5 or higher on your roll.
Sure.
Okay, so, well, we got one down. The tentacle monster can only scream. So you just have to maybe assume and hope for the best that this rune object is enough. Okay, so then we've got a werewolf. We have a werewolf. What would a werewolf want that could be good? There could be something with the moon.
Yeah.
I'm thinking villagers and torches. Lon Chaney run into the. Was Lon Chaney the Wolfman?
I don't fucking know. The wolf just wants a skylight.
What?
So he can see the moon.
He's not gonna stay in this chamber. They don't live here.
Why not?
This is a game show set. They don't live. Emily. The contestants of the dating game don't live on the dating game.
Yes, they do. They live there.
That's not
all
their
together
house.
as roommates, and just wait for a horny lady to walk by, and choose one of them to take on a date,
and then go back to their house here on the dating game so they can see the moon.
Yeah.
I appear, according to Chad, we've broken that to a lot of people. No, guys, on game shows, people have homes and they leave them, and then they go to the game show and then they leave the game show.
That sounds fake.
That happens that's any show.
Sounds fake.
You don't have to believe me. That was my thing in school when I didn't do the homework and I said I did. Well, you don't have to believe me.
Wait, so you would not do the homework and then say that you did it?
That was usually beginning of... It would usually be something like, oh, I forgot her at home.
Oh, I see. Something
to that. And that was usually the beginning of any given year. By the end of the year, no, I didn't do that. Great. So, bone is coming up. I can see why the werewolf would want a bone.
Like he's a fucking dog?
That is so offensive to this one.
If you bring him a bone, you're gonna get negative 2 points.
That should be a thing. There should be a bone.
Yeah.
It is absolutely the worst thing you could give him, and you definitely fail if you bring him the bone.
What if he just wants... What if he just wants to read? Or he just wants... Like, he's a human being who just turns into a wolf sometimes. Or no, is that not true?
I think at this point he may have just owned his werewolfness. And it's just a permanent. That doesn't mean he can't read. You mean he just wants a book?
Yeah. I think for the werewolf room, there is just laid out like a plethora of things you can choose from as an offering.
Okay. And he wants the book, so you need the clues.
You need to specifically ask him some questions. Maybe there's a bone, there's a book, there's like a very fancy gold chain. Like, I think there's a lot of things to choose from.
And when you pick one up from the pedestal, the others disappear, so you only get to choose one.
We should come up with like a fun, rhymey, like tablet that explains the rules of this chamber.
Yes, we absolutely should do that. I am so bad at coming up with rhymes, and our whole last dungeon last week was all rhymes based, and it was absolutely hell for me.
All right, I'll see what I can do.
On a plinth, you mean fuck all of you. Last TV&D, we ended up with plinths. There were these magic altars where the chat could put like items on, and someone said plinth, and I didn't know what plinth meant.
Sure,
and it was
it's not a word that comes up often.
And I don't exactly remember it, but like I was trying to just explain that like, no, I believe you, I just hadn't heard it.
Yeah.
I got real combative over plinths for a reason I don't understand. Says Brian, the entire chat will fight you in the name of plinth. I don't quite understand why everyone wants to fight me.
Yeah, I don't know. Did you offend plinth?
Just in general, not even over plinths. I feel like my relationship with the chat has gotten quite adversarial. And I don't know what I did. It's like there's just a like low bubbling like fuck you. And like I simultaneously like get it, but I don't know what I did.
Well, I think as the dungeon master, you do present an adversarial role.
I guess that's fair. Man, okay, I like this werewolf room.
Yeah.
Alex Latte says, you're Vegeta to our Goku, but I don't know why. I understand that, but why? Chat woke up and chose violence. Okay.
Should there be more of an element of danger in this room, or do you think just the riddle is okay?
The bone, it's offensive. The bone is offensive to the werewolf.
Yeah.
The book is exactly what he wants. The amulet is the bad one.
Okay.
I don't know what the amulet does, but if you pick up the amulet, you will regret it.
Could it be sort of a, like if you put it on, or if you give it to the werewolf to put on, like whoever puts it on, it immediately starts to choke them?
Yeah, I like that. Or do you become a werewolf permanently? Actually, what if, okay, it's a moon necklace.
Yeah.
It is a moon amulet. And if you wear it, so you can leave the room safely. But if you put it on yourself, you will become a werewolf.
Which honestly might make you more attractive to the werewolf.
No, he doesn't like werewolves.
No?
No. It's a lot of like self-loathing. So remember when we found out Willie would make Brian's campaign a living hell by trying to smooch everyone? We did 3 weeks of Willie Quest a long, long time ago. And that was just out of... Willie expressed interest in playing D&D, but he was like, I would just want to, like, fuck with it. And the idea of Willie Quest was, let's play. I'm going to try to run a game the way I would run a game, which is never a good start. And just, like, Willie, follow your heart. Play to your absolute heart's content. And it was a nightmare. I believe you can... It's not available officially anywhere, but I believe you can find it somewhere. I don't even mean to be cryptic. I don't know where to find it. Let's see, I would love to see Willie play through this dungeon. That would be a nightmare. That'd be a nightmare. We're gonna... I'm gonna ask Willie to do this show at some point, Infinite Dungeon, and we'll have to brace for it, because I'm willing to bet it'll be nothing I could possibly expect. I do see what you're kind of saying, though, with this werewolf room in general, and how it maybe needs some element of a challenge.
Yeah.
While we think about that, moving the microphone over here so that I can type some things.
Okay.
You're gonna riff while I do that.
I can't even see the chat, so I can't talk to them.
DM breaking speedrun.
Yeah, I assume most of the chat is familiar with Willie as a human being. He used to live with us. Now doesn't anymore, but yeah, we tried to play role-playing games a couple times with him, and it's just the way his beautiful brain works is to just try to break everything.
And you know what? It's always a good time.
It was when we had first started dating, you came on like a vacation, a friend vacation with us. And we're like, this is Brian's thing. He likes to run role-playing games. That was a disaster. No one wanted to play.
It was, yeah, there were, every now and again I make the mistake of bringing a role-playing game to like a big friend group thing. And that is usually I'm always thinking like, like 3 or 4 people will want to play. And like that'll be like a thing for like 3 or 4 people. But the thing is like everyone kind of feels obligated to like do the 3 or 4 people will go, and then like, well, I'll play, and then so they leads to everyone playing, which is like not the intent. Like no, I didn't think some of you would want to, and you are not behaving like you want to. It was like it can be elements of you don't want to play this, and I kind of didn't invite you. But you also like that's also the issue of bringing a role-playing game to a giant party.
But that's also how we ended up playing like 11-player Troika, and that was, I mean, it was
11-player Troika that's too many people to play Troika with, but it was fun.
But it was really fun.
That was lucky. We just ran the adventure out of the book, and like there are 2 different paths, and you guys split up, so it was easy enough to like flip between the 2. Man, Troika fucking rules.
Good game.
There's nothing worse than a pity PC. Good times.
So what if we did like a Mission Impossible style heist thing here?
What do you mean?
I mean, like, is there a fantasy version of like a laser trap?
Okay, so you have to get around the laser trap to interesting. Is only one of them behind a laser trap. Is only the amulet behind the laser trap. Thereby leading you to believe that it is quite important when it is quite not. I kind of like it. That's like douchey, but I like it.
That's kind of fun.
What's the fun fantasy dungeon equivalent of a laser? A sparking rune.
Yeah.
That's it definitely like could. You have to basically like knock the whole plinth over, I think, and have it explode in a direction. If you just reach over the plinth, it'll explode with your hand. That feels good enough to me to move on. Oh, chat, we can't just go down. We can't just have everyone say plinth every time I say plinth. It can't happen. It can't happen. Do what you want. I'm not your dad. Okay. So, what do we have left? We have a beholder. Beholders present an interesting challenge because they tend to be like interdimensional warlords.
Okay.
So I'm trying to think of what would be a thing a beholder would want. I don't know if this is it, but it could be funny if room number 4 was, like, in of itself a pocket dimension full of people to rule. And if you demonstrate a particular amount of cruelty... Yikes! Yikes, yikes, yikes! Are the people competing also monsters? No, the people competing are dungeon adventurers, your standard D&D heroes who have accidentally wandered onto the dungeon floor. That is a dating game, and in order to leave, they either have to participate or be killed.
Yeah. The thought I had might be too similar to the werewolf room. But I was thinking, like, you have to demonstrate your intelligence and mind for basically domination. So could there be a room full of weapons and you have to determine which is the most deadly?
That's interesting. I like the train of thought there. My only pushback is, I do feel it's kind of similar to the werewolf room.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of all the things that end up, like a good, like 5-ish room dungeon is usually something big to fight. A role play kind of encounter, something to role play with, a puzzle, and then reward, and then maybe a trick or a setback.
Is there a specific type of creature that beholders are especially averse to? Like in Harry Potter, how spiders hate the basilisk.
I mean, I think we could come up with one that could be
There
revealed
could
through
be,
the clues.
Yeah, he could have, the beholder could have, like, I just fucking hate this. I mean, it could be a basilisk or whatever.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
if you bring its head,
it will be very charmed.
Yes.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know about basilisk, but I like the
dragon?
Let's make it a dragon.
Yeah.
Let's make it a dragon.
Yeah.
The dragon is a secret dateable fourth option. And you can just woo the dragon Shrek style and eat the other monsters.
Did really not like it in all caps? Wait.
Sorry, the search for dragon didn't go through. Hang on.
Uh-oh.
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 Uh-oh. Uh-oh. So, we seem to have lost. I'm gonna reload.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh. There we go. Now we got it. And now we lost it.
Fuck?
Great. So basically none of my searches are coming up. So what we're going to do is... Nope. Okay, we're going to throw this dragon right here. Oh, it's an adorable dragon is the thing. It is...
I want to date this dragon.
You can. Like I said, secret dateable fourth option.
Yeah.
So this beholder absolutely hates this dragon.
Is the dragon really nice?
Oh my god, the dragon is so nice. Maddox says this is the third stream this week they've watched that has devolved into uh-ohs. Yeah. Big uh-oh time to be alive.
Alright, I gotta pee.
Okay.
Make this dragon cute.
That dragon don't need no help being cute. Okay, gang. So how about we, I'm gonna save the dragon, and, let's see. We need some more, for rooms 2 and 6, we need a more generic thing that could help, woo any of the monsters. I'm wondering if there's one that will alter your scent, a sort of equivalent of monster cologne. Maybe there... if like room 2 was some sort of like trash compactor from Star Wars situation, and if you ugly yourself up enough, the monsters will find you beautiful. Sounds like the beholder hates the dragon because they're so nice. That definitely could be it. I don't think the beholder says that, but that is absolutely why. Great idea. Series, a box of chocolates, but certain monsters are allergic to certain chocolates. That's fun. A single bottle of Ode to Poop? Ode to Poupée. There are flavors that they hate. Yeah, I think we're on to something here. Can you... I don't want to do too many, like, choosing a thing. Like, I feel like we have the choose a thing room. Let's keep noodling it. Let's finish this dragon room. Now that Emily is back. I should have had you got me a soda. Well. Okay. Beholder hates the dragon?
Yeah.
Beholder wants the head of the dragon.
Yeah.
The beholder hates the dragon because he's so nice.
Yeah.
Dragons are supposed to be fearsome. That might be it, right?
I think that might be it.
That might be it. That's the beholder room, baby.
I think the dragon greets you as you arrive. Is super nice. And you can decide if you want to chop off his head or not.
Yeah.
And, like, don't get me wrong. If you come at him with a sword, he's gonna attack.
Yeah, he'll defend himself,
Yeah.
but like he's not a particularly fearsome dragon.
No. He'll hate it the whole time.
Yes. No!
Why did you make me do this?
No, I have to cook you alive! No! Great. Wonderful. So it's, in a way, it's kind of one of the easier ones, but like at what cost? At what cost?
Psychologically not easy.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Although I have known some adventuring parties to be very ruthless.
Most of them, in fact.
I don't like it.
I get like often in adventure design a little high on moral quandaries.
Oh yeah, you love those.
I love tough
that shit.
I love tough choices. I love, is the bad guy actually the bad guy here? Type stuff. And usually the answer is no, we kill them. Physically, yes, I could fight a dragon, but mentally imagine the toll. Very good. Very, very good. Okay. So, now what we need in rooms 2 through 6, or 2 and 6, are, bonus.
Generic bones.
Chat was talking about, like, chocolates that, or some sort of, like, gifts that they would each have a preference for. I don't know. I like where it's going, but I don't know how I feel about it. Like I said, I don't want to just do the werewolf room again.
Yeah, I mean, I think we could do perhaps a fight to procure something.
Yeah.
Is there... We could also... There could be, like, a merchant or something in room 2 that tells you about something in room 6, that if you bring them... And that's a fight. There's a fight in room 6, and you have to bring them something.
There is one of my favorite things to throw into a dungeon is a ogre or a troll with something around its neck. Okay, I like... So it is... The merchant is also just Bob Goblin. With, like, a mustache. Being cryptic.
Yes.
So he would possibly give you a magical cologne that'll make you very enticing.
Pheromones,
Yes. But you have to get him something he wants from the ogre. What could that be?
Yeah. Well, okay, so what do we know about this? What do we know about Bob Goblin? He loves game shows.
Bob Goblin loves game shows.
Does the ogre have an even fancy bow tie on? And he wants
a significantly superior bow. So
he wants the sparkly bow tie.
So wait a minute, is this what's Bob the Goblin's deal? So he does not have the run of this place. There is still something in this dungeon that Bob Goblin feels adversarial towards.
Really, this whole thing is Bob Goblin wants the fancy bow tie.
That's what all of this is about. Bob Goblin's in disguise here.
Why doesn't Bob Goblin just ask you to go get the bow tie for him? Doesn't matter.
Bob Goblin has mysterious ways, and he doesn't have to explain himself to you.
I love Bob Goblin.
I love Bob Goblin.
Could you seduce Bob Goblin? This is a very good...
Is Bob Goblin's secret answer number 5? Yes.
It takes a very high roll.
I think I think dating Bob Goblin is like outside the scope of this adventure. A DM would have to add that mod to themselves.
Maybe if you got a nat 20 on a roll to charm Bob Goblin.
I think you could talk him into it. I think you could role play it out. But definitely an option, but like that's up for the DM to kind of figure out their own personal way. If you definitely like, so I think if I were to run this, if you were to present any of these things to Bob Goblin would be overwhelmed with love and marry you on the spot, and then you have a goblin husband. Add it to your inventory. I think we accidentally made, this was sort of meant for like D&D, but this is a Troika dungeon for sure, right? Fuck yeah, dude. Fuck yeah, dude.
Okay, so room number 6 has an ogre wearing a very fancy bow tie.
Yeah. Looking for an ogre, looking for an ogre. Yes, I love this ogre. We're gonna put him on the board. Is this a prison that Bob Goblin has put this ogre? Of like, give me this tie. No! This
Fancy tie.
It's my fancy tie! This is, of course, a black tie.
Yes. And it's like that, that paint that's like the blackest black imaginable. It is so cool.
Yeah. Yeah. What have we done? What have we done, Emily?
I love it.
Okay. Can you date the... here's the thing. Everything...
You can date everything.
Everything in this dungeon is dateable. You have to... Granted, I don't know how Bob Goblin would feel if you dated the ogre.
Probably not.
And he might... All the monsters might try to kill you. But, listen, everything in D&D is dateable. Just across the game. Can you date the dungeon? Of course not. Of course not. Get out of here. Can you date the dungeon? Got a bunch of dum-dums. A bunch of dumb idiots in chat.
I'm starting to see why they're antagonistic towards you.
So who let all the dumb idiots into the chat? The dungeon is married. You dum-dum. What if the dungeon is a mimic? That's even dumber! Ugh. I can't make a dungeon with any of you. Okay. Now we need to,
I took the beans out.
The beans? My frog has been debeaned! The beans. They go in the frog. Emily debeaned my frog. This one got silly. Okay, here's what's up. I'm gonna go pee. I'm gonna go get a soda. And then we are going to write. We're gonna write.
Okay.
And finish this up, and then we'll post it.
Great.
Well, first off, let's add the important bits here. Dun 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 na 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 na
the Ruckus what you've named your chat?
The chat has named themselves the Ruckus.
Wonderful.
To be clear. All right, I'll be back.
Cool. Guys, don't worry. I put the beans back in the frog. He's okay now. Oh, he's upside down, though. There's his beans. He's good. Hi, friends. I heard that on Thursday's stream, y'all thought that I was the TV&D handle in the chat. And I want you to know that during these streams, I'm usually playing video games. Because that's the only time that I have to play video games. But I appreciate it. What's up, friends? I am feeling a little sicky today. I don't know if it's because I had wine last night for the first time in like 3 weeks, or if it's just that time of year, but I don't feel great, but that's okay. I'll live, probably. I actually don't know who's running the TV&D account. Again, I'm playing video games. Oh yeah, Dane, that makes sense. That makes sense. Because he's not on cam. He's just chilling. What games you playing? I am currently playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I don't know if I like it or not, but I've been playing it for like 200 hours. Thank you.
You like it. You play a game for a long time, you like it.
Have you tried any of the Mike's Hard Lemonade flavors? Oh yes, most of them. They make my tummy hurt, but I continue to drink them. Grip it and rip it, baby. It's just Diet Coke.
Hello, everyone.
Everyone's just saying how much they like me. You don't need to scroll back.
The fuck? Now what the fuck they say? Now what the fuck they say?
They were just being nice. That was it. They were just being nice. That's the truth.
All right. All right.
I put the beans back in the frog.
I don't know if he likes having the beans in him, because I do crush him like this. He might be happy you're debeaned. Enough about the frog. We're all mean to Brian, so we're banned. If I could figure out how. Okay, so, taking this keyboard into my lap. Now is the exciting part where we write copy.
Did you show the chat our pretty keyboard? It's pretty.
No one tell Brian how. Yeah. Okay, number 1. The heroes find themselves. We're centered here. We don't want to be centered. Let's write some copy on a stream. That's exciting. I really thought this through. Heroes find themselves on the set of a dungeon dating game. Self-explanatory, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Bob Goblin hosts.
Because that way, that leaves it up to the GM to decide if they want it to be like a super 70s, if they want to make it more fantasy-y.
I think our job, to quote from one of my favorite role-playing game books, Troika, it's to dance on the edge of specificity.
Well, we were talking about this watching Community. Obviously, that is written by a team of professional television writers, but Abed's descriptions of what's going on are so tight. Where'd it go?
Where did it go? Where did it go? I like this Alex Latte thing of game show music plays. No idea from where. And a tentacle horror. The PC's gotta find one to date. Or die. Okay. I think you're definitely gonna have to watch this episode of Brian's Infinite Dungeon to be able to run this.
I mean,
but the PCs have to impress one or die. Players may ask as many questions as they want. Let's see.
You're missing some words there.
Players. So I am. Ask as many questions as they want.
The hornier the better.
But they will only receive cryptically horny answers.
Before E except after C.
What is this? School? We'll see cryptically horny answers. The beholder. It's gonna be up to the DM to figure out how to get these clues in. The beholder wants the dragon. Room 4. Dead. The werewolf wants a good book. 5. Tentacle horror wants...
The tentacle horror can't communicate.
The tentacle horror only screams from beyond the void. Only screams in agony. 3. Have asked all the questions they want. Bob Goblin opens the dungeon. Okay. Okay, hear me out. In room 2, we mention, we just say Bobo Goblino.
Bobby O'Goblin.
Bobby O'Goblin. Are you sure it's not Bobby O'Goblino?
I meant Bobby O'Goblin.
No, I'm sticking with my gut here. And that, in this room...
Is Bobby O'Goblino.
Is Bobby O'Goblino. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. No. No. Bobby O'Goblino. Wants the fancy bow tie. In 6. He'll reward the PCs with a special cologne. that will make them irresistible.
Simply irresistible.
3, this is the acid room. A magical tablet hangs over a pit of acid. Get it, dummy. Everyone's asking Spanish, Italian accent. No, just Boblino Goblino. Boblino.
Boblino Goblino.
Boblino Goblino. Ah! I love him.
He's my best friend.
He's my brother. He's my brother. I feel like bare minimum, it makes me laugh, and that's all I care about. This will help the tentacle horror speak. It uses it to say send nudes. Okay, 4. A very nice dragon. He doesn't want to die. He's adorable. He will only fight if attacked. And he will hate every moment of it. What's the dragon's name? His name is...
What's the nicest name?
What's the nicest name? Stefan, Ned. Sven. I kind of like Ned.
Sure.
His name, Ned.
Should we mention that you can woo him or not?
No, I think just everyone is dateable. Because I don't want to tell you how to woo the dragon and what happens if that happens. Mm-hmm. I hope someone does woo Ned the dragon. He deserves it. 3 items sit on plinths.
We're not naming the dragon Nathan.
We're not naming the dragon Nathan. No dragon. That's a ridiculous name for a dragon.
I like Ned. Ned's good.
Ned's good. 3 items sit on plinths. The werewolf. Okay. His name is Ned. I feel like it's already mentioned up here that the beholder wants the dragon dead in 4.
Yeah. Should we say the beholder specifically wants Ned the dragon dead?
I think it's enough.
Sure.
Economy of words here. Okay, three items sit on plinths. The werewolf will hate the bone and be very offended. Okay. He would love the book. The amulet explodes.
The amulet explodes as soon as it is worn.
They might not put it... That means it'll probably kill the werewolf. The amulet... The werewolf will love the amulet. But it will explode if worn.
Explode.
It will explore. It will grow legs and explore. Yeah. What are we here? 20. Let's go down to 20. Infinite dungeon. It's a dungeon that is infinite. This dungeon is crazy.
Yeah.
It so far has a tomb of a mad jester who was king for a minute. A very like a frat party for monsters, and crocodile people.
That's fun.
There's a lot going on here. You know what there are not much of? Reasons to go in this dungeon. No, you can't date brisket.
Like the meat?
Yes. You don't need to know about brisket. I didn't tell you last time. Or I did tell you, but somebody in chat was like, "Does Emily run the TV&D account?"
Yeah,
and Eli was immediately like, "Emily wants no part of this."
Yeah, I told them about that.
Amy Billy just says, "I really want to play this dungeon. I hope you do. Let me know how it goes." I would love. I think this is a fun enough idea. I would love to give this a second coat of paint. Some of the wording here.
Sure.
But this will be the immediately playable one that'll be available in our Discord immediately following. I think the real challenge has to be on Infinite Dungeon. We have something that is good or bad, immediately playable.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a very Dr. Game show.
Yes, that's a great show.
That's great.
Okay. There's an ogre here. He has a very fancy bow tie. It is his prized possession. He will not let you take his bow tie. I think this is another situation of like, do you want to be the bad guy here?
Yeah.
Boblino Goblino might not be a good monster.
No. I mean, he's trapping people in dungeons to try to get them to date monsters. To what end?
So he can host a game show. For no one. No one's watching that. There's no cameras. Can we have a Japanese dating sim version? If somebody wants to put that together, I encourage it. Wow. This is quite a dungeon, huh?
I love it.
You know? I think I do too. Man, oh man. Okay, so this dungeon will be available right away. I will post it in our Discord immediately after I sign off from this. Emily, thank you for making a dungeon with me.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
The Ruckus, thank you for making a dungeon with me. Let's see. Next week is the finale of our Friends campaign that has been entirely PvP. And been very silly. We should have a guest. I don't know who it's going to be yet. Maybe everybody else does. I haven't read the email. So that's going to be fun. That'll be Thursday at its normal time. This will be up on YouTube tomorrow. Remember, hey, like, subscribe, follow, sub, if you can. Down below is the Discord link. Join the Discord to get this. Hey, Emily Heller, where can we find you on the internet?
Oh, I'm at Emily P. Heller on social media platforms. I'm mostly on Twitter. I hate it there, but that's okay. Yet I can't stop posting.
I'm at Brian is a Goblin. And hey, if you like dating competitions, Emily Heller, me, and our friend Laura Bradley have a new Bachelor podcast where we recap The Bachelor. And it's fun, and I hope you check it out. It's called the Chris Harrison Power Hour, and it is available wherever you get your podcasts. All right, gang, we're gonna get out of here. I will see you all on Thursday. Later.
Bye.